big boss that's special. It ain't no game, but they saying welcome to the second level. Second level. Second level gaming. Second level.
It's great to see Quill finally make her long-awaited debut to the PSVR platform in this exclusive VR title by Polyarc Games. The little mouse has already captured a few hearts from the previously released demo, and also the Polyarc social media team has done an excellent job of keeping her in the limelight by releasing sticker packs and wallpapers for phones, amongst other merchandise. She also shocked a young deaf fan by replying in sign language, which Quill knows fluently, to a message sent to the team on Twitter. Generally, Polyarc has been showcasing her downright adorableness whenever possible. The hype was real, but now it's here. And is it worth your time? There's somewhat of a loaded question there. I'm sure if you've read up on Moss by now, you know the controversy surrounding the length of the game. If not, allow me to enlighten you. Moss can be completed in its entirety in around 2 to 3 hours. That doesn't factor in hidden scrolls and secrets, just the main game. To a lot of folks who've been waiting a very long time for Quill's debut, this was upsetting news, mostly due to the $30 price tag. Oddly enough, there's probably a larger conversation to be had here. When talking about PSVR titles, time and price are usually in a very different place to their flat game cousins. With a few notable exceptions, it appears made-for-VR games tend to land on the shorter side of things with higher than average VR prices. Obviously, however, it probably takes a lot more work and resources to put together a fully fledged built for VR game, so monetarily you would kind of expect there to be a certain VR tax on the games that really show their work. Let me promise you this, if nothing else. Moss shows its work. Moss is one of the single most beautiful and enchanting experiences I've ever had in the headset, and easily could be considered a boundary-breaking classic in this reviewer's humble opinion. What Polyarc have done is nothing short of putting you front and center of a breathtaking virtual fairy tale. The game acknowledges your existence quite frequently, actually. In this well-woven story, you are known as the Reader, and you are Quill's sidekick, to which she frequently shows her gratitude. The game is gorgeous. Like, really gorgeous. Like, probably the best graphical fidelity I've seen in VR to date. Not only is the foreground a sight to behold, the background is just as wonderful. I recall looking up at one point to see a curious deer peeking into the scene to watch Quill's progress. It was such a touching moment, and it's these little moments that make the game worth that $30 price tag. After pulling off a particularly difficult room, Quill looks up at me and raises her hand. Without thinking, I use my blue floaty orb, your main method of interaction in the world, to tap her hand and high-five her. I swear to God the happiness was palpable. I really did feel like it was me and Quill versus the world as we continued on our journey together, solving puzzles of varying degrees of difficulty, fighting off hordes of crab-like enemies, while simultaneously healing Quill mid-battle with my orb. The feeling of guilt I had when missing a jump and watching poor Quill end up in the drink was real. I felt like a grade A asshole and swore to do better next time. Luckily for me, she just shook it off. She's kinda cool like that. The animations are better than anything I've seen in VR so far. Smooth as butter. Running, jumping, climbing, fighting. It feels great to control Quill, helping her navigate the environment by moving puzzle pieces around for her to do her thing. The controls are simple, but also very satisfying. The sound design is straight out of a Pixar movie. The art style reminds me of Studio Ghibli. And honestly, even though the days of console mascots are kind of over, if PSVR needed a mascot, Quill would absolutely have my vote. As the difficulty ramps to the multi-room final boss, you definitely start to feel the pressure. I can understand the viewpoint of someone being upset when it ends because honestly, I kind of wanted it to go on forever. It was just such a charming and memorable experience. I know, I'm gushing. The last time I got this excited about a game made for a younger audience was, well, when I was the younger audience. As a 35-year-old man, I should not be this giddy about controlling a virtual mouse around a fairy tale, but convention be damned if I didn't have a fucking wonderful time doing so. So back to the elephant in the room. For 2 to 3 hours, is Moss worth $30? I absolutely think so. Based on the quality of the experience alone. This is one of those games that has to be played to be understood. And last time I checked, elephants were scared of mice. Thanks for watching.
It ain't no game, but they saying welcome to the second level.